Welcome, Ryan. Thank you for coming in. So I'm keen to hear your story about how you've got to where you are with your football journey. So tell us about your story.
Yeah, so originally, I think I started playing football, because might as well start at the start.
Yeah.
From 9 years old, Plymouth Argyle, all the way through to, I think 17, I got into the first team, and then had a bad back injury and kind of left there, got sold to Brentford at the age of 20.
Right.
From there, went on to Southampton, which was a big club, and from there a few other clubs playing, so I think Bradford, Leyton Orient, Colchester, Crawley, around this area, Yeovil and Torquay.
Okay.
So yeah, fair few football clubs in my playing days, and then from them retired, and the love of the game really, and kind of my knowledge, background in how I developed, just took a real keen interest really from playing in the coaching side and managerial side, tactical side, and it was something I really wanted to get into.
Yeah.
So straight away jumped on my badges, B and A licence, started coaching within Plymouth's academy.
Okay.
Started from the bottom, so to learn the whole thing, so 10s, 13s, 16s, and then kind of figured, well, what's next? So from there, I took up the job at South Devon College and Torquay United 18s.
Okay.
Just to get a wide range really of coaching foundation phase, youth phase, and kind of, you know, developing my skills throughout all. And yeah, you know, I guess realising through all of that what part of coaching I like, what part I think is really valuable, and what parts can get lost in child development, player development, and through what age groups. So yeah, that was my coaching background, and then kind of come across these guys, and I guess hindsight, timing, it's just sometimes it's the luck of the draw, and kind of perfect timing for me. And I think the way their model and their philosophy and, you know, their model that they've put in place here aligns with really my values of football and how I see player development, and it's kind of, hand in hand, fingers crossed, will go really well.
Yeah, well, if you do as well as they have done in Tunbridge Wells, then it's going to fly, which I'm sure it will. Tell us a bit about Trinity School then. Tell us about the facilities and what you can offer there.
Yeah, so the facilities, the location is absolutely outstanding.
Yeah. So where is it in Devon?
So it's just up from Torquay, so it's about 10 minutes from Exeter. So it's kind of perfectly, really
central,
in between those two towns and cities, so right on the coast, so easy access to the airport, where obviously, you know, international students can fly, and also obviously Exeter is a very cosmopolitan city, a lovely city to visit. So yeah, it's located really, really well, and obviously the benefit of being right by the sea, overlooking the water, comes in handy, and it's, you know, a very safe place. I think you kind of, you know, Devon in general, the southwest, has become extremely popular since COVID, because you know, I think a lot of people have realised the beauty and kind of, you know, that work balance type people have relocated there, and that's kind of now passed on, and it's a thriving area because of obviously the beauty and kind of what it can offer families and young people growing up. So you mentioned earlier about what you sort of finding out what you liked about coaching and what sort of thing you'd like to pass across to the youngsters about how they play their football. What are your favourite bits of it? So for me, individual player development. So I've been on a journey where I come through Plymouth, old school, very mentally. I had a Scottish manager, so everything was done based around mentality. You know, being mentally strong enough, being able to cope with the workload, to be able to cope with the demands of professional football. Then later on in my career, I moved to Southampton, and you know, the knowledge and expertise there was obviously another level. We had the likes of Lallana, Luke Shaw, Schneiderlin, Jose Fonte, you know, high calibre of players coming through, Ward-Prowse. And it really opened my eyes to what football really is, and what I've lacked really in my player development. I was mentally tough, very athletic, but I hadn't been taught the technical aspects that they have, the real detail, the hidden gems of higher level football. And going in there, you know, at 23 I was.
Well,
I had to learn what they already knew at the age of 14. So they could keep a ball better, they were technically better, their vision was better. Their general knowledge in terms of modern day football was more advanced than what mine was.
Okay.
So, yeah, I mean, there was a guy called Dean Wilkins who was an absolutely outstanding coach. Ray Wilkins was his brother.
Is that? I didn't know that. Okay, right. Yeah.
So added huge value to me.
Again, must have done,
a lot of one-on-one work with me because it's what I needed at that moment in time. And I've kind of took that on into my coaching, and it isn't until you look back you think, well, they had the value they added. And then Pochettino, it was Pardew brought me in, Pochettino then come in, who's obviously a very good coach and very good manager. So that knowledge, and then obviously with Matt, growing up in, I guess, from Arsene Wenger, you're very fortunate that you've got that knowledge and that experience from them, and that's what's really added value in terms of my coaching growing up, and how I see coaching, how I see player development. It can be very coach driven in terms of success game related for the coaches' benefit of how they're perceived and their kind of progression and jumping up the ladder, if you like. Whereas that isn't how it should be. That isn't how you're going to develop kids, unfortunately, winning games. Obviously, it comes hand in hand. You need a winning mentality. Winning games and developing the player do work together. But it is very much, I think, game-related, game-based driven at times. And this programme especially is, outstanding in the fact that it offers probably something extraordinary, which doesn't in the area down my way, that's for sure. In developing players in a high-level knowledge, that one-on-one kind of detail they need specifically just for them to develop.
And your connections with the football clubs that you mentioned down that way, if you like, that makes your school more accessible for people from those clubs. Whereas from the London clubs, it's a long way for them to come down to Devon, isn't it? They're not going to do it. So
as such. But then I also think your borders. There's a good boarding school, boarding area for the school, and I think it offers again something a little bit different in terms of. Look, there's a lot of competition in London. There's a lot of clubs to go with that, but there is a lot of competition, and that can get lost down at Plymouth and Exeter, for example. Beautiful area, loads of talented football players, two very good football clubs in terms of their youth set up, but it isn't as saturated area for football numbers, so there's that less competition. And if you can get the right coaching in the right places, it's certainly a good environment and a good catchment area for those clubs also. And then not too far, you've obviously got your Bristol clubs, and you've got your kind of full-time semi-professional clubs in Yeovil and Torquay. So in terms of opportunity and pathways, it's a very good area.
And girls and boys? I respect ladies football is so popular, isn't it now?
Especially, I mean, it's absolutely grown, and again, in the area is perfect for girls football. I think it's a really good. We talked about the environment at Trinity. It's a perfect environment for girls and boys, but more so, I think, girls, because the gap for academies, obviously, boys can go from 16, they go into academy football. Girls don't, so start 16s to 18s gap, and that's where I feel as if Trinity can bridge that gap for the area in terms of the talented girls to get the extra coaching, to get that expertise of higher level coaching, which they wouldn't necessarily get, and I think that age group in girls football gets lost a little bit.
So the football programme that you're starting at Trinity, has it started, or is it about to start? Or
it's getting up and running now, so it's just putting everything into place for this year. It is a very much new venture in place, but facilities that obviously the ownership group's back in the fact that it is kind of facilities are going to be of a high quality in place, and employing the right people. So it is certainly going to be an extraordinary football programme, which the school is certainly buying into.
How do you? I asked Greg this question on the last podcast, which I'm intrigued about people that have a dream of being a footballer, because I'm sure it's so many kids' dreams, isn't it? And they come to a school like yours and they work hard and they don't make it. You have support with mental health with that and things like that.
Yeah, it's something that at Beechwood they put into place. So they've got a mental performance coach, if you like, who comes in and helps. And I'm sure, private school, that they've got that mental health support system already in place as well, because it's a high calibre of school. So it's something which, especially around football, young kids,
isn't it?
It's a high pressured environment at times. There's a lot of expectations from parents, outside factors, what you put on yourself, social media, whatever else. Yeah. So
all these dads standing on the sideline going, come on.
Exactly that. It's unfortunately it's part of the game which is for us to educate parents at times as well. And there is certainly the mental side of child development is huge. So it is something we certainly place a high value on.
And I think with what you're doing with halving the football with the academia as well, they've got that. They're going to learn as well about just having an education, whereas some maybe back a long time ago it was just football without an education.
That's exactly it. I think that, again, that's where this works perfectly, because you're getting a high level of education alongside the football. The football alongside the education, more importantly. And look, kids not a lot of them are going to be professional footballers. I think everybody knows that, but it's how we do to get them to reach their ceiling height. So does that look like for each different child is completely different. And can we maximise their potential? And that's what we're here for, to make sure that no week, no month has gone by wasted. And it's kind of that is what I think that this programme offers. Compared to other programs, in the fact that they do have that individuality, and it is very much treated extremely important week in, week out, alongside their education. They certainly work hand in hand, that's for sure.
Do you still play football? And out of school when you get time?
No,
not really.
I retired. I was playing part-time for Truro for a little bit, not long ago. I kind of hit the point where I was like, I'm done. It was around the COVID time. COVID hit me, and I was like, well, stop embarrassing yourself. I'm done now.
You're meant to be this expert player. So if anyone wants to get in touch and start with the programme, or coming down to you, they can just get in touch via your website, via the Trinity details on the website.
Yeah, exactly that. Everything will be coming out in terms of our brochure and all the detail very soon. But more so, just get in contact with the school. Because I'm sure, especially that we've got the board inside of it, which is there's been a lot of interest in that. So we know we're going to have a high level of football programme. It's now reaching out to the local community and making them aware of what's going to be on offer and kind of the level of what's on offer to them, and progress from there.
Nice. It sounds really cool. I'm looking forward to seeing and hearing more about it as it develops, and hopefully chat to you again another time. I want to talk to Matt now as well, so we're going to get Matt in because I want to learn more about how you work together as a team. As you've both got great football skills. So thanks very much. Thanks, Ryan, and we'll see you for another podcast soon. But let's get Matt in.